The following podcast is a Dear Media production.
I'm Topsy Vandenbosch, a mindset and emotional intelligence coaching consultant and a licensed mental health therapist. It's safe to say that I know a thing or two about how the brain works and how it impacts the decisions that we make in our businesses. And that's exactly why I created my new podcast, Crush the Mindset Spiral. Each Thursday, you'll hear my raw thoughts and unfiltered perspective about what it takes to run a successful business, plus the top mindset shifts that you'll need to get to your next level. Make sure to tune in for the premiere episode of Crush the Mindset Spiral.
This is the Shady Shit Podcast. I'm your host, Casey Balsham. Come with me down this dark tunnel of crime, grime, ghosts, cults, creeps, and criminals. We're going to have fun, I promise. Let's get started. Hello, happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Shady Shit Podcast. New intro song alert. Hello. It's me. I'm not having a great week. I killed a money tree. Not sure what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty bad. I've got a new one, and don't worry, we didn't let the new one see what we did to the old one. We kind of really passing ships in the night. We just said, listen, let's act like nothing happened, nothing to see here, folks. We buried the body. We replaced it. All I can hope is to water it correctly because they're tricky little fuckers, you know? I hope that you guys had a great week. As always, thank you so much. I got a couple really fun reviews. One girl said she started drinking Pinot Grigio because of me. And I have to say, you have no idea. That to me is better than winning an Oscar. You know what I mean? Like if I can make a difference in just one person's life, to take just small little bits of Pinot Grigio at a time, I will have succeeded. I will have succeeded in my mission. No, but I have 3 reviews. And so let's do another giveaway with a bottle of Pinot Grigio. Those 3 are entered. Send me a picture of yourself listening or, hashtag shady shit, shady lady, shithead, whatever you want to do. Send me a review. And yeah, in next week or the next, we'll pick a winner and we'll give out a bottle of Pinot Grigio. If you live anywhere in the United States, I will find a way to get you wine, my friends. I just sent my friend a bottle of wine in Ohio. So we're figuring it out, you guys. If I can get wine to Ohio, I can get wine damn near everyone. But let's do like old school Nickelodeon and Disney Channel rules. Hawaii and Alaska are excluded. I actually don't know if I can find something to do with you guys, but I love you. And aloha and burr. I don't know what you guys say in Alaska. I imagine you're just chilly most of the time. Okay. Pinot Grigio giveaway. And as always, please follow the podcast, share it with your friends. When you're at your friend's house, make Alexa play it, do something. Oh, my Alexa just went off. And just get it out there, man. Let's do it. I'm thinking of making some changes coming up in the new year to the podcast, all for the better. So, let's grow together. Grow with me, grow old with me, grow young with me. Big news. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, I had the pleasure of getting to do warm up for the new Jon Stewart show on Apple TV Plus. It's called The Problem with Jon Stewart. A bunch of my really good friends work on the show. My husband works on the show, and I got to do warm up for it. And it was just a really cool thing to be part of. And I'm in the credits, so definitely check that show out if you have Apple. And he's definitely talking about some shady ass topics on that show as well, like just shit that needs to be addressed and things going on in the country and the world. And it's very, very cool show. So check that out. I also think I want to introduce a new segment called Silly Shady Thing of the Week or Shady Thing of the Week, or something like that. You know what I mean? This is a new thing. I'm trying it out. But I just thought it was really funny. So as you guys know, I'm doing IVF and I'm doing another round. And we just had to fill out all this paperwork where we just, are giving the doctors all of our money and you put your credit card down on like 50 different pieces of paper. But on the bottom of the page, it literally says, thank you for your business. I'm like I'm buying, like I'm leasing a car or something. I'm like, as a doctor's office, I think saying thank you for your business is just kind of a funny shady, funny and shady. What? Okay, we'll work with it. I'm going to work on that. But anyways, if you guys send me your shady sighting of the week. Tag me, send me pictures, send me if you see something that's just kind of silly and shady. Send it to your girl at CaseFaceB. Also, buy my merch. I've got hats. I've got t-shirts all about my fertility stuff. They say not pregnant. So if you're not and want to wear it, if you're tired of people asking you where you're going to get pregnant and you want to wear it, if you're a guy and you can't get pregnant, hilarious, right? Okay, buy my merch. Okay, without further ado, long intro. I'm sorry. I just, sometimes I just really look forward to connecting with you guys in my mind. Do you know what I mean? I have the great Danny Murphy. If you listen to my other podcast, Not Another True Crime Podcast, you remember Danny. We also had a Patreon briefly for a second that didn't really take off, but we had fun doing it. So you know that this episode is going to be off the rails. I definitely tried to have a plan and we stuck to it a little bit, but we talked in Australian accents. Shit gets wild. But I love Danny and we discuss they had some updates on a couple missing women, Maura Murray, who was one of the most fascinating cases for me because there's just so many ideas of what happened to her. And we, of course, talk about what is going on with our girl, Brit Spears. No, you know what? That's not going to catch on. Brit Spears, not going to catch on. But obviously her father being suspended from the conservatorship was a big deal. And also we kind of just delve into what exactly the conservatorship, how restricting it was. And it was fucking crazy. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode with me and Danny Cashmere, Danny Murphy. It's a fun one. Rate, review, follow. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.
It says you're doing it to the cloud. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, here it is again. Just another episode of geriatrics using Zoom. I've been using Zoom for no less than almost 2 fucking years now. And you'd think I'd figure it out, but no, but that's only fitting for the guest that I have today, as me and him have been through many podcasting or recording debacles. I have from Not Another True Crime Podcast, from Vent Events, from Dish on Bennington on Wednesdays, Danny Cashmere, Danny Murphy. It's Danny, everyone. Welcome.
What an honor to be honorary IT for shady shit. I mean, but I love to because it's blind leading the blind. I have no clue. The amount of Googling, and I didn't even know what words to Google.
No. Honestly, send me an invoice.
I don't know.
Send me an invoice.
I'll have to Google how to do that.
If this podcast is actually even being recorded, it will be something. Because either you have it or I have it. There's a cloud with the red dot in it. It's happening, but I'm untrusting of it. Do you know what I mean?
And if anybody listening just opens up their cloud and is like, what the fuck is this Zoom link? Send it to Casey. Just put it, direct it, email it, mail it. We don't even know how that works, but send it on that way.
If I've accidentally airdropped you this podcast on a train, please send it back to me. Oh my God, my friend Brendan Sacklow posted this the other day. These people visiting New York airdropped him a bunch of pictures of their vacation. And that's honestly what I feel like sometimes. When I look at, when I play with technology, I'm like, I'm about to send everybody a bunch of pictures of my nephew. I don't know what's going to happen.
That, or I'm going to delete every single thing that means anything to me just in the blink of an eye. That is the purest airdrop I think I've ever heard though.
Yeah. Just pictures of them and Wall Street. In front of the girl.
God, oh my God. I just wish I was happy enough to pose in front of a statue. To have that pure joy.
No. What is that? I don't think I've ever posed in front of a statue.
No, the only time I did it was when I was a little drunk after brunch in Palm Springs in front of the Marilyn Monroe statue.
Oh yeah, but that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's
iconic. I mean, it's Palm Springs.
Yeah. Also,
all bets are off.
You're you're just having a heat stroke. You're drunk on mimosas. It's just what happens.
Yep. You've just sang show tunes at Quads.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Did you go to Quads?
We actually didn't do Quads because we were at the Ace for a good chunk of it.
That's where I was staying for my bachelorette party, my first bachelorette party before quarantine. We were at the Ace and then we just went to Quads every night and just requested Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know.
Oh my. Well, that's what I love. It's all the music playing everywhere. It's the music I want to be listening to all the time. It's either 50s musicals or Kim Petras and Lady Gaga. It's just really the trilogy.
Right. And a little And a little wop never hurt no one.
Oh, never.
A little wop never was not a good time,
Walk, don't run when you're whopping though, because that's the pool rules.
This is true.
If you can't slip and fall.
Slippery when wet.
Yeah, there's no Salino and Barnes anymore. Yeah, if you fall, you fall. There's nothing going to help you out.
And you know what? I don't think they're as powerful solo. I'm not going to go to just Salino.
Well, one of them is dead, so I hope.
Oh, because I've seen pictures for Salino. Wait, did one of them die? I thought they just got in a fight.
I think they got in a fight. And why do I assume? I thought it was plane crash related. I don't know. But that's a really bold thing for me to guess. But
it really is. Wait, watch me Google did Barnes die? And then watch my did Barnes die? Let's see. He died in a plane crash with his niece. Oh my God.
I don't know why. I'm sorry I clapped at that, but I just was glad I did not make that up.
It was a top clap. It was very strange reaction, Mr. Murphy.
It was very much up there. Well, I feel like, because there's a Long Island medium, I'm a New Jersey large. I'm connected. I know. It's so sad.
R.I.P. Barnes. All right. Well,
so that's really, you don't get sued or don't have any accidents happen, guys.
All right. I still don't know if I'd go to Salino solo.
No. I'd go to Celine, but Salino.
I'd go to Celine. Yeah, I trust Celine Dion with law matters more than I trust just single Salino.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Well, Danny, I want to ask you because I saw that you guys have some fun things going on over at Nakata. Because I remember one of my favorite, I think the first case that the three of us all did together was Maura Murray.
Yes. So
that was our trial case and our audition case and then our first case that we did. And
well, that was our favorite. There was one where we did separate, then we did it together. So we know a lot about Maura Murray.
There was like 2 weeks in my life where Maura Murray was very present in my zeitgeist.
Oh, everywhere. And also because she is a case that I feel people who are interested in the crime sphere and things like that are very much into, but she didn't really scratch the kind of universal surface. So I would keep on talking to my friends about this case and they'd be like, we don't know who you are talking about or what is going on.
But it's such a frustrating one because there was so many different. It was like, did she do it on purpose? Did she just freeze to death? Did somebody she know pick her up? Did somebody she didn't know pick her up? Is she in Canada?
There's so much. And there was a dad, a boyfriend, there's so many moving parts involved, or all the people that could be.
A bus driver that's dead now that he seems to be the only one that saw her last. And it's just very wild.
Melissa Etheridge, I'm the only one. Yeah.
Very, very Melissa Etheridge. But you guys have an update. You said there was an update on that.
So there was an update and it's sort of like an update for an update to come. Mm-hmm. So essentially, what happened though, is that the New Hampshire State Police announced that they did find human bone fragments in the area of New Hampshire.
Right.
That was like 25 miles away from Route 112 that she was reportedly last seen on and stuff like that. So it is kind of going inside these missing bone area, right in that area. They're testing for age and possible sex and stuff like that. And it's interesting because they made this public a few weeks after letting the family know, which makes sense, but also is what makes me feel like, okay, there might be a little more that they're not divulging quite yet until they have more information that they could maybe link this together.
Right.
And also even Maura's sister is feeling that it kind of seems to be a little more legitimate. Because I remember this was the case that it was kind of when the internet started. And now, the internet has now ended because Facebook, no one can log on at the moment.
Yeah. We're currently, if you are, this is Monday afternoon and Instagram and Facebook are both down. So
They are that song from
the world
2008. Yeah,
is ending. It's the end of the world as we know it.
And I feel fine.
I feel fine.
And I feel Vine because
I feel Vine. Where I miss
Vine back. Yeah,
Vine was very basic TikTok.
It was very much. It was kind of like Vine was the person in the meeting who said something, but no one listened, and then TikTok just said the same thing louder, and everyone's like, "You're a genius!" And then
so Vine was the woman, and TikTok was the man. Essentially.
Can I make it any more obvious?
Yeah, pretty much. So her sister is feeling positive that maybe we're going to have an answer.
An answer. She's feeling very positive because of how everything lines up, and I think also because they're used to getting information and then just kind of being like, I don't trust any of that. None
It
of that
goes
makes
nowhere.
sense.
Yeah.
It goes nowhere because so many people were like posting on like threads and on Facebook about Maura when she first went missing and everything like that, that it kind of just snowballed to a point of like internet sleuths, but not doing it in the proper way, not in the body moving way from Don't Fuck with Cats, just in the way that they'll just like say things to say things.
Right, absolutely. And now, because wasn't there like a whole theory about like some weird like little shack or a little house? Wasn't there like a house?
Yes.
There was like some kind of weird little house. And was the bones were by the house now? Or what was this? Do we remember where the house was?
I'm trying to, because I remember the house, I think that house ended up being, those were diff bones. So I think that house just ended up having some other demons to work on. But I know that...
Yeah. It's crazy. Sometimes like when you're trying to solve, I just did this one case with Jenna about, this guy, like they found this Jane Doe and he like thought it was this one girl. And then it turns out like DNA, it wasn't, but now we're like, oh, now we're trying to find the identity of two. Yeah. Now we're trying to find who she is and still find this other person.
Well, I feel like that was happening so much with Gabby Petito too, where it's like, they are just finding so many bodies.
When you go looking for bones, you will find bones.
Bones. Maren Morris, the Bones. Yeah.
I mean, there was a show called Bones that ran for like 85 years.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
I think the Deschanel sister I like more.
Yeah. I mean, she's way more boring, but like there's something like she puts us right to like we watch Bones before we go to bed because like truly and honestly, like she talks for 2 seconds. She's like, these are big bones. And we're like,
well, here's the thing. Emily Deschanel puts you to sleep. Zoe Deschanel makes you fake being tired to go to sleep because you get exhausted by her. There's no in between with the Deshies. Because she'll just be like, a bloop bloop property brothers. And you're like, oh, I have a really early meeting. And
they are politics. There's no middle. Like they're far left and far right.
You can't wear those 2 pins. Without
you can't wear those 2 pins. No. You know? Also, I've been thinking a lot about people that wear pins. It's like, if you wear pins, listen, you don't need to wear a pin that says feminist. If you're wearing pins, I know.
It's so true.
It's like, if you got pins on a jean jacket, I know.
Or like the kind of like a Tweety messenger bag that you bought in like Barnes & Noble in 2004. I'm like, I get what is in your bag, what your bag is all about. It all is aligning. We know. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need a pin that says Warren. I know.
And also it's worn out, honey. She not running no more.
She not doing it. Okay, so this is really exciting. So we don't know though when exactly we're going to get these results. How long ago was it that they found these and that they were decided to kind of test them and stuff like that?
Well, they decided to do the testing mid-September. Or they announced it to the public mid-September. So I'm assuming it probably was found late August or so, maybe a Labor Day weekend. And I know the bone fragments were kind of on the smaller side. So that just means it takes a while for them to be properly analyzed. Don't totally know why, but there's just less of them to be used to examine. So hopefully I could see maybe beginning of November, there's some answers with this.
Now I forget, like with bones, I think because of the show Bones, you can tell if somebody has like, because I know with Gabby Petito, like you can tell if somebody was killed or if they were just like their bones, their body just like decomposed, right? So like we might have, because even if they are Maura Murray's bones, there is still a huge question of like, well, what the fuck happened to the skin and stuff,
Well, exactly. And it's so interesting because we actually did a case too, which you would like this documentary if you haven't watched it. It's Dennis Nilsson. Did you hear about him? This British guy from like the 70s or like around the 70s. He would have bones in his fucking sink and drain.
What?
Because he would just smush them down there after killing them.
What?
And obviously the drain clogged up. So they had a plumber come and be like, oh, what is this? But to your point, it was tiny bone fragments that they could tell were traumatized by like neck injuries and stuff like that.
Oh,
so determine from the bones.
He had like strangled people and stuff. Dude.
That guy was crazy because he was complaining to his landlord that his drain was clogged. And then when the plumber came.
The fucking balls on this guy. The fucking balls to not be like, you know what, I should probably get a wrench and get in there. I know what's down there. Yeah. Like, honestly, like, I'm not going to be surprised if I clog my toilet. You know how many tampons are down there? All of them. Every single one of them. I love my friend Megan Gailey used to have this joke about how she said it was something like, she's like, you know how you tell us not to flush tampons down the toilet. She's like, that's pretty much all we're doing in there. Which is true.
I'll keep you a dirty little secret.
Yeah. I every so often, if it's like an old place or it really looks like the toilet is like struggling even to just flush like pee-pee, I'll be like, okay, I'll be a nice person. But like, I live in my apartment my rent just got raised $1,000. You don't think that I'm just throwing them down there.
Shut the hell up. $1,000?
Oh yeah, $1,000.
Oh, I hope you're throwing the tampons just in the hallway.
I'm just putting them, I'm just signing my rent check in period blood. Gross. Okay. I'm just sealing it. I'm just putting them in there. All right. Sorry for my shitheads, my shady ladies. Listen.
Hey, but shady ladies, if your rent gets raised,
you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know when I was in high school, I got in trouble? So we planned this giant food fight because we had these boys that would throw things at us. And I stopped the fight by dipping a tampon in yogurt and throwing it over at their table. And they were like, no. And then it was like this huge retaliation thing.
Third wave feminism.
I know. Hello. And then it was like tater tot day and we were all buying tater tots, but like somehow the faculty got wind of it and we never got to do our big food fight. I think that'd be a fun thing to plan. Like a birthday party to be like, just wear shitty clothes and I rented out this room and we're just going to throw spaghetti at each other.
I kind of like that. And then also it's always like the food that like you'll never like eat anymore. So you kind of like miss it too. You know what I mean? Because now everyone's just having like, you're not going to want a food fight with salad, but like you want to do like those like cosmic brownies and everything.
Yeah, because kale is sharp.
Oh, that could hurt someone.
That bone in the middle of kale, hard.
A smoothie with the kale shards or whatever it is. Yeah, that's really intense. Yeah, I don't know how we digest it. I don't think we do.
I don't think we do either. They're fooling us all. They're like, this is healthy. I'm like, not a single bit of it is going into me.
No, I don't. And also that's the thing where I'm just stupid. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, then the dressing is just all olive oil. I'm like, well, I just fucked myself over hour to court.
I know. If it's soaked in dressing, does it still a salad make? I believe I'm having soup.
It's just minestrone. Yeah, no, or it's a Panera
Minestrone.
Minestrone.
Crazy. Okay, and then you guys also just spoke with somebody about the Lauren Spear case. Spear. Okay.
I think. I'm very bad at pronouncing things, but I believe that is the last name.
Okay.
So that case, it is interesting because that is a girl whose grandfather was an investigative journalist. So she is kind of passing the baton, I guess. And she went to the same Indiana University. So she kind of is trying to renew interest in the case from a local standpoint.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So she gave us a lot of POV about kind of like what was going on around that time. And then also kind of just being like, how did all these leads go so cold? Because that one, it seemed like it had all the fixings to kind of be a case that gets solved pretty fast, where it's like, you found out immediately she was missing. It wasn't like they waited like 3 weeks to report her or anything like that.
Right.
And so she was missing. But then nothing really came up. But an interesting thing that this girl shed light to us about, Kira, she said that it was during, because everyone was like, oh God, it was during the school year. Like, when you're in college, like you pass a party, like every apartment is having a party, everything's going like that. But it was during this weird, like, I forget what they're called, like summer semesters or something like that, where it's like 2 months where the student population is cut by like, there's only like 1/8 of them. So that's why a lot of people think that's why she went missing and couldn't be found and anything like that. So there's no
because there wasn't a lot of people around.
Yeah. So there weren't major updates with it, but her hope is that more people will be active and maybe coming forward with it coming back out again. I also think from the university standpoint, with it coming back into the press, they might want to be like active a little bit more because no one wants to be the university that was like wail about a girl going missing.
I know. It's kind of wild. I didn't realize I went to the DR. My dad took me and Robbie to the Dominican Republic. And I was thinking about how, 2 years ago, people were dying from maybe like fake booze or weird things. But then I went to go look up my resort and like this is after I'd already booked it. One of the first things that popped up was that like a woman was like dragged into a utility closet and beat, not to death, but she was beat. And then the resort had to like close down for months because nobody wanted to go there. And I was like,
besides y'all,
information that would have been helpful yesterday. I didn't know, but it is wild. Like when it's attached to you. And then I was just kind of like, the staff there, I have to say, is the most friendly though. So I'm like wondering,
yeah. Well, also I'm sure they probably are like, just so
disarming.
grateful anyone is back in there to be like, hi, how are you?
I mean, it was a little alarming to like Google a place that you're staying. Like, I'm sure it is, like Google a college and be like, oh, this is the one where women go missing. Or this is the place in the Dominican Republic where women get beat.
Exactly.
It's like crazy. If you like look at a picture of this woman, it was like she was beat like unconscious.
God.
It's crazy. And then being there, I'm like, how? Because like truly and honestly, they never not like everybody, they were so friendly. And every time you talk to somebody, they'd be like, hey, ¿cómo está? And you'd be like, Benny, too. And every single person, excelente. That like must have been in their training manual.
But they had to just say they were always excellent. I mean, you never, it gets hard. Well, I mean, White Lotus tells us that hotels have some weird stuff going on. Who knows? And I also think it's one of those weird things too. Like, imagine if you were staying in her hotel room. Like, imagine then, like, if you go to a college and you're like,
God,
that's my fucking dorm room. I'm not staying here.
Oh my God, I don't know if I could.
I could not. It would just be too.
It would feel cursed.
Chilling. Yeah.
It would be very chilling. Yeah, because I already don't think I could be in like a haunted hotel room and a haunted, and I'm in hotels a lot. So I always am like, on the lookout for things. Because I'm in hotels a lot by myself too when I'm on the road.
True.
This is kind of sometimes when I think when I'm on the road why I like have wine. Because I'm like, I just want to go to sleep. I don't want to feel anything on me. I don't want to touch anything. I just want to have a couple glasses of bed wine and pass out.
It really is. I was gonna say it's nature's Xanax, but I don't really know what that. But you know what? That just called the spin on it. But it does help. I understand that so much because like when you're stressed out and when you're worried, you're gonna want to chill. You're not gonna want to see like, oh, the ghosts are around. And then also when you're in a fucking hotel room, all they have is like premium porn and Dateline. So you're like, I don't want to watch all these people getting murdered. And
Fox News.
Yeah, and then just lulling myself to sleep. It's impossible.
Yeah. No, thank you. So that's great. Okay, well, hopefully we have some updates for those, but a big thing that I haven't talked about on this podcast, or maybe I have in like my intros or something like that, but obviously the info heard round the internet. We do have an update on one Miss Britney Jean Spears. Jamie is off of the case, he's suspended.
Mm-hmm.
He is suspended. And boy, can you tell that he's off the case? We got Brit posting pictures of her titties.
We got Brit tits, yep.
We got Brit tits all over the internet. We got photo dumps of tits.
Yeah. And then the dumps that she's like, they're not edited, but the bathtub is like completely converted. But I'm like, girl, do whatever you're going to do.
Well, she's also like got her fingers open enough where you're like, these are nipples. But I'm like... But listen, I was doing the math. This bitch has been in a conservatorship for 13 years, which means that since she was 27, which means that since she was 27, she didn't get to do stuff like this. Like when I was 27 and peaking, I was tan and tiny. I was dying for people to see me naked. Do you know? Like I am so upset that there was not OnlyFans when I was peaking. And I was like, I get it. Like when she was 27, she probably was like fit and pretty. And like not that she's not fit and pretty now, but like you know what I mean? Like when you feel like your best. Like literally, I was looking at pictures of myself from Hawaii. I was like, damn. And I would have wanted. Saying if the internet was around then, there would have been pictures of my titties all over the place.
Yeah. And
all over the place. I was so proud of my body then.
And especially from her POV too, because like right when she was 27 was, I feel like the time where she started to, or could have more so been in the more ultimate control of herself and her career that I think she idealized and loved to do. Or on the flip side, be able to kind of be like, all right, I've been the fucking pop girl since I was 14 or whatever. Yeah. I want to take a breather. I want to be able to have a moment, not do fucking Vegas residencies because I don't need it because I'm going to be a million multimillionaire forever. But then she got locked in this, wasn't able to do any fun stuff, and also wasn't able to do any of the stuff that she wanted to do because I feel like this woman just wants to mom it up a little bit and just like have a Coles moment, and she can't do any of that because she's locked in this. Like she's truly Rapunzel.
She was Rapunzel, but I do feel like she definitely has the energy of a Maxinista for sure.
The short.
For sure. The shorts, the lace tops. But I feel as though, you know how they say like if something happens to you when you're younger, like you're mentally that age. I feel like she's mentally has like retreated because she's been treated like a child. And so
and drugged too. So it really just fucks her up.
And drugged. So that was one thing. So I was watching the Britney versus Spears documentary, and that was one thing that I didn't realize about the conservatorship, that they literally, because there was these rumors that Jamie had canceled this one tour because she wouldn't take this medicine. And then they were like, oh no, she needs to be hospitalized. But it was really because she was like, I don't want to fucking do this. And then they blamed it on, then they said it was Jamie's like heart condition or something, something he was sick.
Could no longer do that. Yeah.
But with the conservatorship, I guess because, just watching, and I just watched the beginning part of it because I wanted to understand more about exactly what a conservatorship was. Because it's like, I think we were all just like, oh, they're just in control of everything. But like truly and honestly, everything. Like, because there was like a conservatorship of person and a conservatorship of estate.
The thing where like she couldn't even, there was one thing, I always thought it was just she couldn't control her money. You know what I mean? And
no, she couldn't control her person.
People were filming her in her bedroom. Like it was insane.
Yeah, they are allowed to make decisions about all of their healthcare and all of their personal care. Mm-hmm. They're allowed to make decisions about medicine and how to treat them. So like, yeah, they could truly tell her, you have to take these pills. And she would be breaking the law if she did. Like it's fucking nuts and wild.
And it's so crazy too, because what everyone is talking about that like, and the lawyer that she had defending her was hired by her dad for all these years. And the month like that switched this summer. And then they were able to get all of these balls in motion.
Yeah.
Just with a simple lawyer who actually was on her side or wanted to see justice through this. And it really, it shows that she was just trapped.
Yeah, she has Matthew Rosengart now, but what makes me sad is that she did obtain her own lawyer at the beginning of all this that wanted to like fight for her. And they were like, you're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
You can't think through that. And it's like, and I always thought it was so awful too during that. I'm like, if you care about, because it's so funny with like how anyone could have believed that he cared about his daughter. If you cared so much about her, why are you flaunting her out to do all these residencies and do all these tours and make all these albums if she is quote unquote unwell like you feel she is? Because that shouldn't be what's happening.
Yeah, if she can't even make decisions on who she can speak to on the phone and all these things, why is she on the set of How I Met Your Mother? like truly, like there's those doctors things that were like, she's unfit. The thing that's also crazy is that they said that she had dementia. She was 27. And then they had a fucking geriatric doctor check her out.
It's like truly, like if there was any like a random person who was unaffiliated with either of them, did not care about either of them, just looked at that happening, they'd be like, this seems fucked up, or this seems like it should not be happening. But no one cared. And also because the way that we all looked at Britney for so long until recently was just like, oh wow, she really does need the help, you know what I mean? Type of thing. And then you're like, oh wait, she did not, not at all.
No, I mean, she probably needs help now because she's mentally, like psychologically.
For 13 years.
They like you said, she is like they kept her captive. The woman didn't have a credit card. She couldn't leave her house. She couldn't drive herself.
And like being disconnected from society and reality for that long. And then also just having daily drug use on her, because it's not like they were giving her like antidepressants or a prescription thing that she needed to take. They were getting drugs to keep her quiet, keep her like drowsy, keep her like out of it. So like she couldn't do anything.
Keep her on Instagram being like, a lot of you are asking what my favorite movie is. Yeah. So I'll tell you, it's ice cream. And you're like, what?
And she's like, I like a big hat for the beach. And you're like, what is going on? Well, now it's a whole interesting thing too, where people are still kind of like, what part of the Instagram is real or not with her?
I know, this is a whole debate.
It, sometimes she doesn't.
I know.
And it's so funny because I read this one theory that people were like, they were just kind of posting all this stuff to make it seem like she was crazier than like she is, because they were just putting her at like all this like chaotic, sporadic, 12 paragraph long captions, everything like that. When like in a recent Instagram live with her fiance, Sam, you could hear her. She wasn't in the live, but like she walked in when he was on live and she was like, oh, what is that? Oh, you're on Instagram? I didn't know you could go live. So it sounded like she really didn't even know
how it works
about Instagram. And then also it's kind of like, oh my God, I don't want people to see, like, so she was kind of weirded out by the concept.
Ooh, which do you think maybe there was like somebody being like, because obviously if she wasn't running it, because remember people would literally go through all like 13,000 of her comments when she'd be like, you guys all want to know what my favorite summer activity is. Yeah. And then like people would go through all the comments from like whatever. And they're like, literally nobody asked, So you think that there was somebody that was like filming her and that was taking it and going like, okay, Brittany, so this is what they want to know. So that when they posted it, it would seem kind of like fucking bizarre and out of it.
Exactly, because they could just have her do anything. They
And
could
then
just
they
be like,
would
tell
just
us your
quote it,
favorite thing for this, and then you're just done with that. And also so many of the other things were moments like when she was doing so much watercoloring. I'm like, that is like for a mom with kids to do. Yeah, okay, but like the way that they captured it and then like wrote everything around it made it seem like everyone's like, why the fuck is she doing all this like art stuff? Like she's getting so weird and everything like that. When it's like, she probably doesn't even know she's on Instagram.
Yeah. It sounds like that this was not, again, something that she was like told what was happening or consented to. Also, by the way, we should mention that during this whole, at the beginning time when Jamie was so concerned about her health, saying that she couldn't make decisions and she was incapable of fucking being a grown-up, she wrote the Blackout album.
Which is her best.
She wrote a whole album when she was unfit to even choose who she could speak to.
She wrote Give Me More. Like, I mean.
Give me more.
Give me more. That album is a no-skip album that you listen to when you're kind of leaving a dinner, or if you got dinner alone, if you're leaving people and you have like 3 glasses of wine or something like that, and you're just walking in the city. That is the album for that.
Very specific, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, it is very, you have to be Lower East Side. In East Village is a little too much, like Lower East Side, Soho area.
Where there's like neon lights everywhere. Yeah, but it's still like dark. Yeah.
And it's, oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just, it's this, what the documentary did make me like, I miss younger Brittany, like because she looks like she's been sad for 13 years now.
You can tell that like the joy of life and performing has left her.
Has no spark, but like you look at young Brittany, she was so bubbly and like, it's just everything about her was like, yeah, she was shiny. She was sparkly. And she just, the minute all that shit started, it's like the minute they've like fucked her out of, I feel like, custody. I mean, I honestly think that the whole thing with Brittany, I think it all started with Sam.
Yeah.
It seems like Sam is the catalyst for kind of, well, she got the divorce, but even when she was married to K-Fed, she was still bubbly, cute. Like she was still Brittany. Like she was like letting her Southern stuff come out. She was like, I eat Cheetos in a gas station and whatever. But like she was still Brittany. She just like introduced us to the fact that she smoked Marlboro Lights, but that's what you do when you're 20.
And that's exactly it too.
You know?
Like, you get shotgun married to a dancer and like you like drink tall boys with cigarettes. Who didn't do that when they were 23, 24?
I still do that.
I was going to say.
I love it.
It's heaven. It's relaxing. It gets you going.
Right. And then it feels like the divorce happened. That obviously, I think anybody going through divorce, especially going through divorce so publicly, it's going to spin you out a bit. And then this Sam guy just glommed onto her. And the rumors that he was drugging her. But I will say, he made a good point in the documentary. He's like, if I'm drugging her, you're going to call the cops, not TMZ. And I was like, point Sam.
That is actually very true. Because, okay.
Yeah, he's like, the cops never came into my house. She passed every drug test. I still think he's shady as fuck.
Oh, I don't like him, but I do understand. I'll let him off the hook with that.
But that point is valid.
Yeah.
But nobody exactly knows. But he seems like, it seemed like when because her parents, that was the reason for the conservatorship. It seems like in this documentary, it seems like they were so nervous about her relationship with this guy that they thought that this was a 911 situation, that we need to control this because this guy is going to take all her money. So we should do it first.
Can I say that's why they literally did it? I feel like, fuck, I want the multi-millions of dollars, not this little bozo just trying to help her career or whatever. We can just say we're helping our daughter and
she's weak.
Literal shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Because part of the conservatorship was that they had control. They could spend her money on whatever they deemed.
Not fair. And I mean, I'm sure Jamie Lynn Spears' little sister's getting some of that money too. I don't trust her at all.
So when they were talking to the paparazzi, the Adnan guy that she had dated for a little bit, he said that and this was like right at the beginning. So again, this was 13 years ago when you think that these relationships, I mean, now it feels like these relationships they're unrepairable. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Irreparable?
Irreconcilable.
One of those, they don't like each other no more. Yeah. Is what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
But he was saying that like 13 years ago when he had a brief fling with her, she was saying, I can't trust my dad, my mom, or my sister. This is not a new fucking thing.
That is interesting.
I know. Felicia is the only person that was on her side.
Oh,
I know.
And her fans.
And her fans.
I was worried if the Jamie Spears thing, if that went south, I was like, they would riot. Her fans would have done some shit.
Yeah, you would have seen bowling balls through Walmart windows. Shit was going to happen. Hot dogs would have been thrown in the air.
Oh, without a doubt. Tempeh ones, because I feel like a lot of her fans are in that energy, but which I am as well, so God bless. But it would have been tense, so I'm glad it worked out.
It would have been tense.
But I think then I think at the end of this month is when it could officially happen. But it seems all signs are pointing to that.
Right. Well, it seems though there is a couple little shady areas of this whole thing because obviously, so Jamie is suspended. But here's the thing is that both Matthew, her lawyer, and Jamie both filed that this could be that I don't think she needs this anymore. We can get rid of it. So Jamie was his lawyer was don't take him off of the thing. This is going to be done soon. Why would you appoint? She called the new guy because they appointed a temporary person. Okay. This guy John Zubel or John Zabel. And I guess his lawyer was he's a stranger to the court. And it's just what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Sir, you came in at the last minute for this. We are continuing on our way.
You're a stranger. Yeah. So, but they were trying to fight to just let Jamie finish it out. And her lawyer's he needs to be removed now. Brittany is not okay. This needs to happen now. But her lawyer also was it's pretty fucking shady that he literally a month ago was no, we need